Don't overdo it. Seems simple, right? Don't overdo it, guys. And some of you may have already done it because you didn't know, and I'm now letting you know. Don't feel bad about it. Okay, just listen to what I'm saying and take that into consideration. Of course, you can do whatever you want. I can tell you that school systems, there's 13 qualifying areas for an IEP. All right, now with regards to 504, it's expanded a lot broader, and the issues that your child is having with regards to disability must impact major life functions, and then not only impact major life functions, have that correlate over to impact your child within their school environment. All right, so there's multiple steps, but not that insurmountable, with regards to eligibility. Go over to the IEP side. Well, there's 13 recognized areas where your child could have a qualifying disability that shows that they're in need of specialized instruction. There's a twofold factor of how the child is eligible and remains eligible for an IEP. Now, how much does diagnosis have to do with that? There's 13 qualifying disabilities. 13 qualifying disabilities. And I have parents that they sit there and they go, oh, my child has a microdeletion in DNA, very, very rare. I get it. I get it. At the same time, we're dealing with human beings on a school side, and a human being on the school side that has a lot of kids on their case files and a lot of children that they need to serve in an area to where we do not have enough special educators. They also aren't compensated enough. So you need to take those factors into consideration in what I'm about to tell you. Keep it simple. I understand that your child might have some very rare condition, but at the same time, how is your child going to be qualified under one of those 13 categories? Is it under other health impairment? Is it under a specific learning disability? Is it under autism? What area would your rare genetic condition, and what I'm saying is, how does it manifest? And a lot of these, let's say genetic microdeletions, I'm not saying all of them, I'm saying some of them, a lot of them, tend to come across or act or mirror or appear like autism spectrum disorder, for example. Just an example. I don't need anybody, burning me in effigy. Okay. I did not make a generalization. I'm saying in my experience, when I'm looking this stuff up, it will have a lot of the components that we see with autism spectrum disorders. Okay, great. And I don't think one size fits all with regards to autism, because my daughter has classic autism, but in so many different ways, she doesn't have it. But she absolutely has an auditory processing disorder, severe one. And that was her primary diagnosis when she was a lot smaller before we settled into autism spectrum disorder. So I absolutely understand that. But guys, school systems, they have 13 qualifying areas. 13 for an IEP. And so if you overdo it with regards to, oh, my child has, oppositional defiance disorder, which, guys, just because it's in a DSM, a diagnostic manual, doesn't mean I necessarily am buying it. All right. I think one of the worst things that you can sit there and put a tag on a child within our public school environment currently is oppositional defiance disorder. You want to sit there and welcome disciplinary action, stick them with an ODD. All right. And because according to their diagnostic manual, can't really do anything about ODD, which then with a lot of people that don't have the education or understanding that work within the public education realm, that is their method to deal with it, is discipline. So be very careful in how you tag your child, because a lot of this isn't the schools doing it. It's the parents presenting diagnostic materials to the school. And then how the school utilizes that information is out of your control once you hand it over. There are 13 categories for which your child can qualify. Keep it simple and narrow your child's needs down to whatever diagnosis is required to have your child walk through that door with an IEP. Because that's all that's needed. And once your child is through that door and has that qualifying disability that shows that they're in need of specialized instruction, then all areas of need can be considered and inserted in order for your child to receive a free, appropriate public education. Now, I have many parents that are like, well, but I want them to know about my child's rare condition. Yes, I get that. But I can't stress enough that I have had way too many parents do that, and it falls on absolute deaf ears. To where the personnel and the other real risk, the serious risk, is that in the human mind, and I'm not generalizing all educators, guys, I just have been doing this a while, and I know from experience that this is a reality, and I'm not pointing fingers at anybody that's watching this that's an educator. I'm just saying that this has happened too many times for me to fail to bring this up here. You bring up all your child's issues, then what you start doing is you're chipping away at the effectiveness of your IEP team, because you have humans sitting there and you have humans going, God, that child's screwed up. That child's messed up. Oh, that child, God bless them. But, there's just not much we can do. And so we'll make them comfortable and we'll love your baby, but there's just not much we can do. And so therefore it diminishes how hard they fight and work for your child, because in their mind, it's a lot of it is rooted in ignorance, and guys, it can be in compassionate ignorance. There's a lot of things done with compassionate ignorance. It's not their child. So don't require them to love your child like you love your child, or be as knowledgeable as you are about your child. Keep it simple. As much as you can, keep it simple so that you have hard-reaching goals that are reasonable, services that are peer-reviewed and scientifically based for whatever category that your child qualifies for and beyond, wherever those deficits are. We need to focus on that with service minutes and with accommodations and with supports. But you start traipsing outside of those boundaries, this is my experience and this is what I've seen. And I don't want that to happen to you. You don't have to share every little freaking thing with the school people. Keep it simple. I'm not saying that you hold stuff back that would be relevant to providing a FAPE, but I'm saying understand the balance of what is necessary and then what you are providing that isn't necessary and is actually creating some of these issues that the parent later says, well, they misused this information. Well, where did they get that information to begin with? You're the parent, and so much of this stuff requires your consent. Balance it.